Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole and today we talk about the end of the Darktide beta. Fatshark has basically posted like a TLDR about what happened in the closed beta of Darktide. But, and this is like the biggest surprise they have at the end of this blog post, where they are announcing early access for War40K Darktide. But first, let's go through the announcement itself and some of the data, and then we are talking about the early access announcement. This past week, we hosted a closed beta of Darktide to help test some of our in-game systems, scale our servers, and give you a taste of what to expect in War40K Darktide. Many of you participated, and for that, thank you. The feedback you provided will help us make an even better game. I assure you, the Emperor noticed. Yay! So for those looking to adjust their mouse sensitivity, the ability to call out a sniper in the chat, or those having general performance, frame rate or crash issues, now that the team is focused on addressing these along with other issues we uncovered in the beta in advance of launch. This past week has been for many of us, especially as we had a chance to sift through the stacks of feedback and data as a way of bringing you along the journey. We also wanted to share a few of your favorite insights. Enjoy! So apparently the top map has been Magistrati TM8707. Makes sense. This is the boss fight thingy where you have to just kill the boss. The Logistratum, it's where you had to activate like the, I think the smithy in the middle was this one. I'm actually kind of surprised that the power matrix is not the last one. That's the one where you have to go down with a lift and then you have to like activate like the platforms and whatnot. I thought this was the least played. And then the smelter complex was the one. No, that is actually where you have to activate the smelter. Yeah, I completely messed that up. That is the least favorite one, which I can kind of understand. Like the last area is a bit of a shit fest because there's rarely any cover and it's kind of oof. It was rough. Average playtime 208 minutes. Nice. We are going through this in just a second. The top 3 weapons with the most kills. Yeah, that makes sense. The club, because you could hit so many enemies with that. The club was pretty extreme. The last gun, which also makes sense because, well, the most played class is the veteran. So kind of, yeah, duh. And the Devil Claw sword makes also sense because like it had a pretty good cleave and a lot of people was utilizing that. The most common planet was, well, Cadia, which is not really a planet anymore, but that makes also sense for all the War40K lore nerds. The most deadly enemy was the Scab Mauler, not too surprising here at all. That enemy was rough. Even on the lower difficulties, they could cost you half your health if they hit you. Like those dudes were absolutely brutal, especially when they were attacking with like mass enemies, like the Horde coming in, and they were like kind of hidden in there. Ooh, they are tough. Like again, most played class veteran, we already talked about that. 700,000 people died. 532 million enemies were killed. 7,000 grenades were thrown. Not that many actually. Oh no, 7 millions. Sorry, I can't do numbers apparently. 7 millions. And 255 people were falling over the ledge. A, I assume a lot of people tested it, and B, the one ledge in this mission where you have to go left or right, and if you go right, there's a ledge, you don't know about it, you just fall into it. I have seen it happening so often. Most common crime was the dereliction of duty, which was like the least crime. I had the feeling like if you looked at all the other crimes you could choose from, like everything was like borderline sedition, and this was like the least one. Total auto dockets gained 1.4 billion, which is all right. Mission win rate 67%. Huh. That's lower than I expected and higher than I anticipated. Yeah. It's like that number seems kind of high, but also kind of low in the lower difficulties. I wonder if this is for all the missions, like no matter the difficulty, or if this is like only for the standard missions or something. I'm kind of curious how this has been put together, because success on the highest difficulty 4%, which makes sense. Like a lot of people were not ready to do the higher difficulties. Like a lot of people just played it for the loads because they didn't have the equipment. They were doing it with randoms. This number is heavily skewed. So yeah. But that's not all. We have an Ogren-sized surprise for you, and this is now the big one. They just snuck into this. Many of you have joined us in the technical test and closed beta. We have found these early tests extremely helpful in addressing issues. Ultimately, this will help make our game better. And let me just jump in here very quickly. Yes, Fat Shark. Look, I played Vermintide. I have played Vermintide 2. I have been around your games for quite some time. But the one thing I can definitely tell you, I love your games. I love you, like, for what you're doing. Like, you're doing an amazing job. But let's just say you're one of those developers who need feedback as early as possible and have to test your shit. Again, love you, but you need that sometimes. So with that in mind, we want to invite anyone who pre-orders or has already pre-ordered the game an opportunity to play Darktide as part of the pre-launch beta period starting November 17th. This is a chance to start playing the game early, but it will also be critical to helping us fine-tune the game before the launch on November 30th. Finally, let me say that we are blown away by your positive response to Darktide. Thank you for the support and for being part of the journey. So as far as we understand this from developer comments, this is like you are starting on the 17th and you can play through till November 30th. Also, very important to note, and this is very interesting. So it was asked if the progress from this pre-launch beta event will carry over to the full release. And you might say, yeah, of course. Well, this is the official response under one of my tweets. One other person has asked, will progress carry over or not? And then Jerome, who is part of Fat Shark, was jumping in and was saying, we have nothing committed right now, but we do understand how important it is, and it's our aim, and we will let folks know prior to the pre-order beta going live. I think this is very important. I will be honest. I would definitely play the game for content creation, right? So for me, as a content creator, I would still play it. As a gamer, I can understand that a lot of people just say, wait, my progress is not carrying over. Yeah, no thanks. Like, I would just wait for the release. Like 2 weeks of being able to play the game and then not keeping your stuff is rough. Because having a weekend or even like a week of your things not carrying over, okay, that's fine, right? But 2 weeks up to the release date, yeah, no, that has to happen. Like, I will be honest, if it doesn't happen, a lot of people will probably not jump on this train. So let's just hope it will happen. I'm actually kind of confident because they really know how important this is. And you are getting access by literally just pre-ordering. You don't need the Ultimate Edition. You don't have to buy the Collector's Edition or whatever, right? It's just pre-order the game, get in. That's how easy it is, right? So I wouldn't really see why not, right? And yeah, 2 weeks before the release, that's also a pretty good way of like gradually letting the people get into the servers and not have this flood of players just coming in and also testing like some last stuff before the real release happens. Now, of course, a lot of people will see this pre-order thing as the full release because they have already paid you their money and everything is carrying over, so it's a bit like an early release, and people will kind of treat it like that. So that is definitely something to consider. But after the beta, I'm actually kind of positive. Yeah, we had issues. The disconnects were pretty annoying. Performance was not always there where it could be. And there were some minor things which I do think that Fat Shark can fix that. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, I would appreciate if you leave a like. If you also want to see more Darktide guides, which we already have a few here on the channel and more to come in the future, I would also appreciate if you might consider to subscribe to the channel. We are super close to 2,000 subscribers. Like, thank you for everyone helping out here. One last thing, if you ever want to catch me live, also playing Darktide in the future, I will do so, or I have already been doing so here on YouTube from Monday to Friday, starting at 8 AM ET. That is 1 PM UK time and 2 PM Central European time. With that said, thank you so much for watching. The Emperor protects.